Alright, look out for Charlie here. We're going to talk about persistent contrails, otherwise known as chemtrails, geoengineering, chemwebs. If you're older than 30 or so and you don't believe that they actually exist, you're a fucking idiot. And otherwise, you may just be too young to have even seen the sky without them. You know, they've been going on heavily since the late 90s. I remember the first time I saw one, I was actually leaving a friend's apartment, and I thought that the plane was surely going to write something in the sky, like "Eat at Joe's" or "Jill, will you marry me?" or whatever, but it just kept going in a straight line. And this really stuck out in my head. And then it wasn't but maybe a month or two later, and they were laying them down all the time. A lot of people deny that and say that, no, they were always there. I spent my entire childhood looking up at the sky. I spent my entire childhood outside as well. And I can assure you that they were not there. And there's actually proof if you know where to look. There are two sports that have documented the sky more than any other out there. And that is BMX and skateboarding. Through the 80s and 90s and up till now, especially before indoor skate parks, almost every photo of skateboarding or BMX had a shot of the sky in it as well. So it's a perfect documentation of the sky over the years. You can check out the sky through the 80s and into the 90s, and I assure you, except for a couple of weird shots from San Diego, go figure, in about 1990, there was nothing odd in the sky whatsoever. It wasn't until the late 90s and then heavily into the 2000s where you could see this stuff all the time. You almost can't take a shot of the sky without getting some weird blob or some streaky, creepy looking chemical cloud in the sky. I believe that in the beginning, chemtrails were, when they first started laying them down, and it was probably an experimentation with coal ash or fly ash, and they were doing the same thing that volcanoes would do, and that would be to block out the sun, where now they've basically perfected their chemical concoction, where before people, around 2011 and 2012, a lot of people were getting chemwebs in their yard and in their grass and in their pools. Here's a video where somebody wakes up and goes out and checks out their pool, and it's got this muck all over it. And clearly, the person's lived there for, long enough to know it's not normal. It's a muck. It's literally a muck. But anyway, you don't see the chemwebs as much anymore because they perfected this. Now, I believe, personally, that this whole geoengineering theory isn't the half of it. I think that these chemtrails are making the sky and our atmosphere in general electromagnetically sensitive and electromagnetically conductive, and conductive to all sorts of different frequencies that it wouldn't normally be. It's making it it's almost like a less visible smog, or it can, this energy can hop, and it can hop much easier. I don't believe that it's fully for geoengineering purposes. Definitely not. I think there's totally a reason why people claim that when they chemtrail heavily, their ears ring louder. I think that's because everything around them is being electromagnetically and just electro-sensitized. And it's gotten ridiculous. It's so ridiculous that, if people would have saw this years ago, they would have thought it was a fucking alien invasion. But now, people can look out their windows, see this clearly, except for this person, clearly, and think that it's totally normal. And it's not normal. I used to watch the planes in the sky as a kid, and as you were watching, it was hard to keep track of how far the plane moved because you couldn't use the contrail, the real contrail, as a point of reference because it was constantly evaporating behind the plane. It wasn't doing this. It's ridiculous. But there's got to be another reason than just geoengineering. There's a reason why people's ears are ringing louder when they spray this shit than on a clear day. And the other crazy thing is, when these days are windy and dry, they don't spray. So it's funny that the same people that can deny this shit can look out on a windy, dry day and there won't be one of these types of persistent contrails in the sky at all. At least you'd be seeing them laying down and being pushed around by the wind quicker, but they don't do that at all. Not around here anyway. Also, when you have aluminum and iron oxide and these different metals and they're put together, they form things like thermite, or what we could call a dirty thermite. And on a nano level, you've got homes, shingles, wood, trees, plants, grass, all these things absorbing it, becoming combustible to possibly energy or anything they want. These mystery fires, just like the mystery fire that was in my backyard or next to my backyard this past summer, was beyond strange. It had no reason. And you have these roofs catching on fire for no reason. These fires in California, trees burning from the inside out. There are multiple uses for this kind of shit. So it's not just electromagnetically sensitive, it can be also used as a weapon in that case too. Unless these are separate programs, because once they really get everything soaked with this stuff, who's to say? Who's to say? Also, sensitizing the atmosphere makes perfect sense for the eerie sounds and scary sounds being heard around the world. Mysterious shrieking, eerie mystery music. See, a lot of people are going, well, maybe it's the earth doing something weird. Maybe the earth's reacting. Well, when it's music late at night or something else, or man-made type sounds, 100% that it isn't the earth doing this. It is all man-made. It's all man-made. And since this stuff is in the air, it kind of creates a giant speaker. So yeah, I really don't think that chemtrails or persistent contrails are such a funny name. Persistent contrails, like they just refuse to go away. I don't think that they are what people say they are. And I don't think they're just for geoengineering. I think that's a naive look at things, especially the things happening heavier and heavier since these have come into play. Now, here's what I was talking about, the sports, BMX and skateboarding, documenting the sky for, 30 years or longer. These are small photos, so I'm going to have to blow them up. But this is old. This is from the 80s. Look at the sky. There's nothing there. Alright? Here's another one. And it hasn't been airbrushed. There's nothing there. There's another one. Nothing there. I mean, what are the odds of not catching? Because these days you can't take a photo without catching one of those. Check that out. Here's another one. Nothing there. There's another one. Regular cloud in the background. Here's another one. Nothing there. There's another one. There's a cloud, but it looks to be a normal cloud. There's another one. Nothing. There's another one. Nothing. There's another one. And nothing. There's another one. Nothing. You can go through all these. Start looking up Thrasher or freestyling or freestyle BMX from the 80s and early 90s. Look through them. This one is, they look to be relatively normal clouds. This is probably about 1989 or 1990, this photo. There's another one. Totally normal clouds. Puffy. Looking normal. Don't look like cirrus clouds that are too low. There's another one. There's another one. Look at that. You know, and they don't pick the days for these events to be on blue days, you know. There's another one. Now, this is newer. This is where we start to get into the newer stuff. You see this milky appearance, and you start to see the crap lines in the sky. These kind of, I call them frequency clouds, when they all start to take the same shape. And here's the streaky, chemtraily, modern sky. Look at this one. You got all this crap in there. If you can go through photos from the 80s and find one of these crap lines or these fake chemical smears in the sky, show it to me. I'd love to see it. There's more milky, crappy lines that we don't even pay attention to anymore. There's another one. Right over the tire of the bike. There's one. Boom. And then even the sky behind it is just milky and crappy. There's another one. Just smears and fake cirrus clouds. A big chemical blob in the sky. Beautiful. Electro-sensitive clouds. There's more. And look at that one. The full-on alien invasion photo. Look at that crap. If you can find a picture like that from the 1980s, from a BMX or a skateboarding magazine, show it to me. But you gotta make sure it's from the 80s or early 90s. But that is just mind-blowing. That looks like, I don't know, it looks like one of those subliminal ads that you would examine from years and years ago where they airbrushed things into the actual advertisement, like in the ice cubes and stuff. That's what these clouds look like up here. It's mind-blowing. It's just a bunch of garbage in the sky. It's undeniable. It is undeniable. If you can go through, if you can find one from the 80s, go and check it out. Go check out BMX. If you don't believe in chemtrails, go out and check out BMX and skateboarding photos from the 1980s. They document the sky like no other. The sky has not been documented to this degree except for those two sports. Make sure that they're old and not new. So what didn't we have before persistent contrails? Well, we didn't have things just catching on fire everywhere. We didn't have people hearing hums and noises everywhere. We didn't have electronic harassment en masse. We didn't have shooters every 5 seconds. We didn't have anything that plagues us today. None of it. So, for certain, this is definitely 100% an arm of this weapon. And this weapon has multiple tentacles just to itself. And like I said, go check it out for yourself. Don't believe me. Save the photos. You know, the scary thing is that having everything in a digital domain leaves it to censorship and manipulation. Just like how Amazon deleted 1984 from all these people's Kindles. They just memory hold it. We don't have it here. It was an accident. Come on. And I think that's kind of scary too, how people that are above the age of 30 don't remember the sky not looking like this. It's absolutely scary, and there's proof. There's proof everywhere. So yeah, people are hearing hums, screeches, noises, trumpets, and other people are just hearing music when they go to investigate it. There's no place to find it. And that's because the sky is being turned into a giant speaker.
Yes. The mysterious music can be heard at all hours of the night, even at 3 a.m. But where is it coming from? Delaware.
They can't find it because it's not coming from anywhere.
Right now?
I think it's a boat.
You think it's a boat?
Every time they go to look for it, it gets further away, just like sounds that people hear in their homes.
The culprit or culprits.
We've actually had the Coast Guard out in the river
trying to locate, maybe it was a barge that was out there working and the music was coming from the barge. That came up negative.
Another theory, it's a bunch of car stereo fanatics like these guys.
Car
showing
stereo
off their
fanatics.
powerful speakers. The mystery joins a growing list of strange, unexplainable sounds. A high-pitched wail recorded in British Columbia. An eerie whine from Finland. And this, recorded in England.
They're getting fucked with. They're all getting fucked with, and they have no idea what's really going
nursery
on.
Rhyme. Have you ever heard anything so creepy? The New Jersey mystery may not
Car
be
stereo
as spooky,
fanatics.
but
That's
it's
my
still
favorite.
super annoying.
Do you guys know what it is?
That's why we're here. We're trying to figure it out.
Well, if you
And then guess what? Even if they knew, they wouldn't tell you. God, look out for Charlie's out.